Next question is from Cynthia. Good morning, Cynthia. Let's see. My twin grandchildren have blood type A negative. Okay, this is a COVID blood type question. All right, fine. We got this. Yeah. So my question is, what's the latest information on whether people with this blood type are prone to getting more deadly infections of COVID-19? Fine. All right. So there was an early study that came out with just a handful of people in it that said that maybe if you had type O blood, you were a little bit less likely to have to test positive. Thing about this is, and this one is being driven by, so there's a story out there. At best I can figure, it's coming from a study by 23andMe, the I don't know, boutique genetics, whatever you want to call them. They will not sequence your genome, but look for particular sets of differences that we know about in your genetic data. They have a way to do that fairly quickly and cheaply. And it's also one of these that'll tell you if you're 87% German or something else, without really telling you what that means. Because, of course, people weren't always in Germany. And, I mean, there were Neanderthals there. That's where, that cave is from. Before there were Homo sapiens there. And I don't know. It all gets a little muddled up. People didn't just stay in one spot for all of history. There's a lot of moving around. And so, whatever. It's a certain snapshot and a couple of genetic differences, and there may be something to it, but it's not rock solid, hardcore science, all of it anyway. So what they did is they did a study on some people that had COVID-19, and I don't remember if they were part of the database already or they went out and read out these people's genetic markers. And they came up with the idea that it didn't matter whether you were positive or negative, so that's the Rh factor or the rhesus factor. So, in our whatever, so-so data, you can throw that part out. And they found that people with type O blood were maybe a little less likely to get infected. Problem is, what the heck is the connection between COVID? Because SARS coronavirus 2 doesn't infect red blood cells. It doesn't infect anything in the bloodstream, really, that we can tell. People do a lot of tests for antibodies in the bloodstream and looking at cells. We still do not have, at least as far as I've seen, any really solid information that the virus is definitely in the bloodstream. I think there was one case where they had some of, I don't even remember if it was SARS-2 coronavirus in the heart that probably, came from via the blood. I don't know how else it would get there. But even the infections in the brain are most likely coming from the back of the nose where all the smell receptors are, because it's a direct path up the neuron into that thing called the olfactory bulb that's right at the front. Well, it's that shape on a mouse. It's kind of little and shrunken on humans. We're not great at smelling things. Yeah. So there isn't a real good reason to suggest why this would be the case. It may still be the case. These particular proteins, these markers on the outside of red blood cells, are also going to be present on some other kinds of cells and will perhaps change how they interact with other kinds of cells. But I don't know. For right now, I think this is probably not a major risk factor. And I think regardless of that, as long as you keep, were they grandchildren? Keep those grandchildren safe. Keep them away from COVID. I think everybody's going to be okay on here. I don't think you need to worry about their blood type predisposing them to anything. So there we go. Thanks very much. This was Ask Dr. Ben.